Are you one of those people when you attend a magic show, you let everyone know you know exactly how they achieved that trick? Are you one of those people who let everybody know that, oh, I can do that. That was so easy. I can't believe you folks were fooled in thinking that's magic. For me, I love letting go and simply enjoying being taken to a place I know nothing about, to a place where I could never do what they were doing. This is not a commercial. It is a story about two gentlemen who call themselves illusionists at Zubrick and Zubrick Magic Theater. What I find fascinating about these two gentlemen is they started this process, this performance in Guam. They don't tell you a lot about when they decided to move from Guam to St. Petersburg, Florida, but it's a pretty fascinating adventure. What I want when I attend a magic show, I want to be able to suspend disbelief. I want to enjoy the fun of the production. As I mentioned, Chris and Brian call themselves illusionists. While they do have some typical acts, meaning that the rabbit comes out of the hat, they have the flying doves, they have the woman who floats, they have the woman sawed in half. That might not be totally true. And at the end, they have a really big surprise at the end. Everything that they do, you can tell that they study the blink of their eyes. Everything is so on point and timed perfectly. Any of you who know about acting, know about magic performances, a lot of it is in the timing. Now, I will share something with you, that Chris and Brian are two of the most handsomest men you will ever see, and I believe that's part of the illusion, honestly. They are dressed to the nines. Their presence on stage is actually awe-inspiring. As I mentioned, every move that they make is calculated to make sure that the audience is watching something in particular. And that's why you don't always see the reality behind the magic, the way that those people who think they know everything about magic tricks. You know when you see them, if you have ever known an actor, and I dated an actor for a very long time in Texas, you know that they have taken acting lessons, and you know that they probably still take acting lessons because they are so concise in their message. They're fun also to watch. There's nothing serious, I don't think, about their performance, only meaning because it's so joyful and it is simply full of a lot of fun. Unbeknownst to them, they are actually following some of the high points of a book that's called The Breakthrough Principle of 16 Times. This book is all about us learning how to take our biggest accomplishments, condense it to a couple of moves to recreate that high success without trying harder, without working longer hours. The whole principle is that you're going to multiply your efforts to be more prosperous, advance in some aspect of your life, whether that's relationships, a bigger house, your health, but you're going to practice that 16 times principle in order to have a more prosperous life. They do this simply for 2 steps. There's about 4 steps, 5 steps that you want to know about. But what Chris and Brian are doing with this breakthrough principle of 16 times, they are defying the tyranny of routine. That's one of the steps they're taking, unbeknownst to them. They're also doing it their way. There's nothing silly about their performance. It is stunning. It's captivating. All audiences, all people of different ages, except for 3 years old and younger, because they won't be quiet, are attending their performance. People from various lifestyles are attending their performance. Speaking of which, moving to Guam and to find their place where they are accepted is a specific neighborhood in St. Petersburg called The Edge. That particular neighborhood is hot, hot, hot. It's popular. They have a lot going on. They picked the perfect home for them to move from Guam to St. Petersburg. If you know anything about Florida, right now they're not really accepting of anybody unless you're, never mind, a white person. Therefore, I am really proud of them for defying the routine of tyranny, for doing it their way, for their absolutely stunning performance. If you are in the St. Petersburg area of Florida, it's absolutely worth your time to go to. So the fact that they even call themselves the illusionists just shows you that they're defying the routine of what other people are doing. To move into Kundalini Yoga, which I have studied for over 30 years every day, this is the time to practice a Kriya called prosperity and protection. The reason being, we are in the spring equinox. Everything you have been doing during winter, it's though as you've been planting seeds. Once you get out of hibernation, you're going to do things to make your life much more prosperous. Again, whether that's the abundance of your health, your relationships, your friendships, new possessions in your life, it doesn't matter. What you really, really want to have happen in your life, this is the time to practice that Kriya. The saying goes in the Kundalini Yoga world that you want to practice this kind of a Kriya or any of the Kriyas when you're looking for change and improvement for 40 days. I will be doing this probably for the next 6 months. I need a lot of help right now. There's also at the end a protection Kriya wrapped into the same class. This is a free class. I always put on my podcast free links to Kundalini Yoga. You can do this in the chair. You do not need to stand up or no funny positions. I will share with you, there's a lot of chanting. Not everybody likes the chanting, but that's very powerful when you bring that spirit out into your world. Lastly, wine. We are still in that era of women in wine. There is a booklet that I included here. For us in Florida, we drink rosés all year long. For those people who are north in New York and all the New England area, it is really warm. Therefore, I know you folks are probably clamoring for rosés. With this list of women in wine, if you see a particular vintner which you would really love to learn more about, send me an email. You can reach me on Instagram. Very easy to contact. I'm always happy to help. I know 95% of these women. Many of them I have been to their vineyards, especially if it was France or Spain. Rosés are a seasonal wine for many people, but for those of us who live in Florida, and actually when I lived in New York and sold wine, I drank rosés all year long. To wrap this up, our lovely and handsome illusionists, Chris and Ryan, are beckoning us all to leave your woes and troubles behind. Visit their stunningly gorgeous people, but really their stunningly gorgeous theater, to really just sit there and enjoy. Don't analyze what they're doing. They're absolutely consummate actors, wonderful illusionists. Practice this Kriya. It will bring you prosperity and protection. We need both of those, don't we? And lastly, Women in Wine. This is a great booklet. Even if you don't perhaps want to buy any of the wines, just reading about what many of these women have done as far as refurbishing old vineyards, inheriting vineyards from their family, and doing new techniques. Great history right here. In conclusion, I'm Valerie Hale. I create this podcast once a week to help people improve their mindset. Remember, thoughts become things. Choose the good ones. Also, my public speaking courses online, Fear of Public Speaking, help many people manage their anxiety when they need to present speech, when they need to present their elevator pitch, all those ideas. So be sure to reach out to me on anything on my podcast. You can sign up for that class just right online too. Merci et au revoir.